The following is a homily by the curé of Ars, the great Saint John Vianney. Notice the tone of his homily is, shall we say, a tad different than we would hear in today's Church of Nice and Tolerance. Mull over his words, especially in the context of the crisis in the Church, which is at least partially a crisis of purity and chastity. Have a blessed Sunday. Purity is not known. Homily by Saint John Vianney, the curé of Ars. Alas, my dear brethren, how little purity is known in the world, how little we value it, what little care we take to preserve it, what little zeal we have in asking God for it, since we cannot have it of ourselves. No, my dear brethren, it is not known to those notorious and seasoned libertines who wallow in it and trail through the slime of their depravities, whose hearts are roasted and burned by an impure fire. Alas, very far from seeking to extinguish it, they do not cease to inflame it, and to stir it up by their glances, their desires, and their actions. What state will such a soul be in when it appears before its God? Purity? No, my dear brethren, this beautiful virtue is not known by such a person whose lips are button opening, and a supply pipe which hell uses to vomit its impurities upon the earth, and who subsists upon these as upon his daily bread. Alas, that poor soul is only an object of horror in heaven and on earth. No, my dear brethren, this gracious virtue of purity is not known to those young men whose eyes and hands are defiled by glances and other things. O God, how many souls does this sin drag to hell? No, my dear brethren, this beautiful virtue is not known to those worldly and corrupt girls who make so many preparations and take so many cares to draw the eyes of the world towards themselves, who by their affected and indecent dress announce publicly that they are evil instruments which hell makes use of to ruin souls. Those souls which cost so much in labors and tears and torments to Jesus Christ. Look at them, these unfortunates, and you will see that 1,000 devils surround their heads and their breasts. Oh my God, how can the earth support such servants of hell? An even more astounding thing to understand is how their mothers endure them in a state unworthy of a Christian. If I were not afraid of going too far, I would tell those mothers that they are worth no more than their daughters. Alas, this sinful heart and those impure eyes are but sources of poison, which bring death to anyone who looks at or listens to them. How do such monsters of iniquity dare present themselves before a God who is so holy and so set against impurity? Alas, their poor lives are nothing but an accumulation of fuel, which they amass to increase the flames of hell through all eternity. But, my dear brethren, let us leave a subject which is so disgusting and so revolting to a Christian, whose purity should imitate that of Jesus Christ himself, and let us return to our beautiful virtue, which raises us to heaven, which opens to us the adorable heart of our Lord, and draws down upon us all sorts of spiritual and temporal blessings. St. James tells us that this virtue comes from heaven, and that we shall never have it unless we ask it of our God. We should therefore frequently ask God to give us purity in our eyes, in our speech, and in all our actions. Finally, we should have a great devotion to the Blessed Virgin if we wish to preserve this lovely virtue. That is very evident, since she is the queen, the model, and the patron of virgins. If you like videos like this, like and share this video and subscribe, and click the notification bell below. You can support my work on Patreon and Subscribestar. Links are found in the description below, along with links to my Twitter, the Sources blog, and the Return to Tradition Facebook page. Thanks for listening. I'm Anthony Stein. Ave Maria.